people's house. Big Zeus, here's the people's house. Big Zeus, go up to the gate at 1600 on the map. Yeah, supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner, and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap.
Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Big Zeus.
Big Zeus.
We wanna hear your soul.
Hey. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. Y'all think this is a joke? On the wall, they staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Come true. All I need is a spark. Got the Constitution jumping. Yeah, you know I'm so divine. True. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. It's the first of the month, actually. People's house. Got the power, get it back. Money talks loud, time to clap. Hey!
That's a fact, it's a rap, I'ma bring it back. In the people's house, power's in the air. Yeah, it's the people's house. We knocking on your door. It's the people's house.
We wanna hear your soul. Big Zeus. Hey, let's go. Welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Let's get it off the ground, and then we'll get up out of here. You know how we do it, all right? It doesn't take long to do it, all right? Bear with me as we work through it. Now, this is true. Now, this is so true, ladies and gentlemen. Don't we all feel like we're stuck in a cycle?
It's like a curse.
Let's go! Every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. Let's go! Happy Monday! This is how it's supposed to happen when you erase your face. The algorithm turned me to a maniac. Woo! I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Just come up with that. It's true. Nope. Hey. All right. Let's do it all together, ladies and gentlemen. Here it goes. Here it goes right here. Here it goes. Zeus haters right here. Here they go. Here it goes.
I haven't gone into Zeus's life in a couple of days. It was
Keep me clean, please.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Oh!
It's like deja vu.
Now really?
It's like deja vu.
Really?
It's like deja vu.
I'm off the rails.
It's like deja vu.
Wow. All right. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I am your host. Sean, you saw that, right? Zeus is going way off the rails. They always make up lies about me, all right? But listen, once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here. Well, we're here to do the wonderful work that it takes to bring this lunatic in the background, Donald J. Trump, bring his poll numbers back to where they belong, which is straight to hell. I hope you all had an amazing holiday break. Took some time to take care of yourselves, all right? And once again, we got to continue the wonderful work we've been doing, all right? And so before we get into that, let me take care of some very, very honestly important housekeeping items. If this is your first time tuning in to this show, do me a favor, like and share. Like and share. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on, just do it, all right? Because you know this truth needs to reach all corners of the earth, all right? And then where are my manners? Yeah, so I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. Actually, they call me the Rizzler, too, and you know what I mean when I say that. Am I right? The Rizzler. Because you get hit with something I said, and it will take a second for it to register on your brain. You'll be like, oh, did he just say that? Yeah, I did say that. So, yeah, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. There's nobody more honest than me. I don't really care if it means I hurt your feelings at this moment, because when you have a country to save, like a lot of us are here to do, we don't got time for these these so-called beta males. They call themselves alpha. If you have to call yourself an alpha, most of the time it means you're a beta, right? We don't got time to coddle you and, give you a blanket and a pillow, any of that. I'm just going to tell you, if you're a loser, you're a loser, and that's not a we problem. That's a you problem. That's a W, Zeus. If you're a loser, you're a loser. I don't got to sugarcoat that. It is what it is. The second H is because I'm humble. Listen, I'm a human being just like a lot of you, and sometimes humans don't get it right? And I leave room for myself to get things wrong. I don't want to go around here and think I'm the perfect person on the planet. That's never going to happen, and I don't even want that burden. But if there was to be a perfect person, I'd be a great runner-up now that I think about it. But listen, when you're not perfect, you understand that sometimes you got to be humble and apologize. So if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize, all right? Seriously. So that's the second H. And then the last and the most important H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain the most handsome. See how I did that, Eugene? Hey, Eugene, you want to come up here and apologize later on, brother? I was thinking about you over the weekend. I said, this guy comes onto my show every morning and he lies in the comments. He's a great person. He stands for right. But when he gets in here, especially when that Antifa demon gets to working on him, Eugene, and I might have to get my good friend, Sister Takesha, to come up here and bring that holy oil, because I don't have, listen, one thing you got to understand about me, I'm a nice person, but if you come onto my platform, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you start lying about being more handsome than me, guess what you'll do? You'll get a first-class trip where? Straight to hell, W. Zeus. And that doesn't matter. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what political side of the aisle you're on. I don't care what gender you're. Just don't do it, all right, W. Zeus? Now, do we have any Trump voters out there, ladies and gentlemen? Because I always like to give you a heads up before I get into the content. And the reason that I do that is because I don't like when you go around and report my live and you try to ambush me when I venture off into red spaces, because now I understand the heat's on. So if you're a Trump voter, listen up, especially one of these so-called conservative men out there who've really taken offense to Big Zeus, and for whatever the reason is. You might think I'm a Democrat shill. You might think, you know what they say? They say a lot of white liberal women, they're propping me up. They come up with all kinds of reasons to justify themselves being nothing, but they're less than mediocre individuals, right? These folks, what do you do for a living? Most of you Zeus haters out there, I don't know what these people do for a living. W. Rick, all right? They go around and they look for blagga to prop up on TikTok and make blagga seem like they're really it and with it. But blagga isn't with it. Blagga is, as far as I'm concerned, they're in a worse situation than a lot of you. And so what I'll say is this: if you don't want me to explain to you why you're all going straight to hell, why you're all a bunch of big losers, W. Sylvester, thank you. And the jig is up, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, a lot of white conservative women have been taking a liking to Big Zeus, because you know what? They want what they can't have, and I understand that. So if you're a white conservative woman, or any woman on the right, and you like what you see over here with Big Zeus, it's never too late to tell that loser that you're with, that joker you're with, say, hey, I'm done with this. I'm not running around here and just being a little mascot for the MAGA movement anymore. I'm done with it, because I talked to Big Zeus, and Big Zeus made me feel real good. And so I'll say this, especially Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. who can't talk to me like a real man. Every time he tries to send a guest request and come up and talk to me, what does Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom do? Oh, honey, I gotta take out the trash. Honey, I gotta go walk the dog, because he doesn't want his wife to see that that he's actually able to talk to a real man and get jealous and insecure about his relationship. And that's why I do what I do. And so if you don't want me to hurt your feelings, and where's DJ? Hey, DJ, this one's for you. If you don't want me to hurt your feelings this morning, you want to continue to lurk in the shadows, leave this show and go hang out with these fake TikTok hosts, because they'll lie to you. But over here, we don't lie to you. All right. But get this. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they have officially closed, and I take no responsibility for anybody that gets harmed as these sparks start to fly, because what we do over here is we're going to tell the truth. And so, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this thing going. WZ. First thing I'd like to do this morning is to get myself going. I need to go into the locker room and get a little bit of a pep talk from someone that I would say is a great motivational speaker, a great coach, a person who honestly knows how to win. And honestly, they hate MAGA as much as a lot of us do. So we'll let this beautiful, beautiful representative, who is this woman, Congresswoman, you'll recognize her voice. And if you want to the MAGA demons, why don't you bow your heads and just listen to these words these words come from God. If you ask me, these are God-like words.
I just want to be clear. This is the party that says that, they care so much about life until life actually shows up at their front door.
Oh.
And this is also the party that supposedly is about Christianity. And I just imagine what they would have done to a little baby Jesus, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
It is really so heartbreaking. We know that under the prior Trump administration, it was the children in cages. So for me, expecting them to do better.
Hey, a lot of you MAGA men out there chiming in the comment section. I asked you to bow your heads while the Queen is speaking. Do you have a problem? You don't know how to respect authority? Do you so-called conservative men understand that you have ruined America for everybody? So listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's at a level right now where I just really need y'all to zip it, because you won't come up here in the box and actually say what you mean. All right. And you don't even know what you mean. You don't even know what to believe. Your identity is tied to Donald Trump. So again, zip it. Just zip it and listen.
Supposedly is about Christianity. And I just imagine what they would have done to a little baby Jesus. But that's a whole other.
I tell you what Jasmine, hold on. I'll tell you what these demons would have did to Jesus. The one that's in the Bible, the one that actually cared about human beings, said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The one that said, if you harm one of these children, it's better that a millstone be tied around your neck and you tossed into the deepest parts of the sea. I'm talking Mariana Trench. You know where that's at. That's the Jesus. You know what they would have did to him? They'd have tried to deport him. Yeah. Yeah, they'd have got the Triple K in a rally and they said, we got to go get this guy. Nothing but modern day scribes and Pharisees. But Jasmine, you're on to something. Please continue to minister to these demons.
The issue, it is really so heartbreaking. We know that under the prior Trump administration, it was the children in cages. So for me, expecting them to do better by children was not one of the things that was on my bingo card. I never expected them to do better. I expected them to do worse. And frankly, that is what they have done with this entire administration, is they have made everything worse. Like, it was bad the first time, so bad that he got kicked out of office. And then unfortunately, America got amnesia and somehow he ended up back in office. And now he is literally terrorizing everyone, from children that are born in this country to children that aren't born in this country to adults. Yeah. It is really sickening.
Yep.
And if we are really going to get back to where we are truly great in this country, it is going to take really looking at your neighbors and seeing their humanity. He was able to dehumanize people during the election, whether it was trans folk or whether it was the immigrant. He dehumanized. And if you study anything about the Nazis, that is where it all starts, is the dehumanization. And none of us should be sitting by, even if we're not trans, even if we're not an immigrant. You have to understand that the dehumanization will come in for black folk. It will come in for women. It will come in for everyone. And that is why we unfortunately got here. But if we recognize where we went wrong, hopefully we can get back on track and recognize that our strength lies in our unity, because there's so many more of us than there are of them, this hateful, venomous regime that we're living under right now.
Hateful, venomous regime that we're living under right now. W. Jasmine Crockett. So first thing that I would like to do is knock this issue out of the way. To all of the brothers out there that are black, just understand you would never even be able to get into the presence of a beautiful woman like Jasmine Crockett. And that's why you hate yourselves and hate your countries, because you know what you are. You're all a bunch of losers and failures who sit around. Look at what they get on TikTok. A lot of these blagger, and you know who I'm talking about. We don't even need to mention their name. And you know they're weak because they all have to collaborate together to defend Donald Trump. And I said, I've never seen so many brothers and sisters out here who totally hate themselves. And the one thing that unites them isn't love of the country, it's hatred. Hate. Who do you hate? I hate black people that are intelligent. I hate black Democrats because, they're under the thumb of the white liberal. Well, where'd you get the concept of the white liberal from? I got it from Malcolm X, Zeus. Oh, okay, so you went that far back and you didn't pay attention to anything Malcolm X said other than that? While you're sitting up here upholding white supremacy and standing shoulder to shoulder with the Triple K, you brothers and sisters on TikTok ought to be embarrassed. And I guess you are, because that's why y'all don't like to turn your cameras on, and y'all like to hide in the shadows. And so what we'll do is this. Not only are y'all the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth, but go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire, because they don't understand what Jasmine Crockett just said. She basically says the emperor has no clothes, and y'all still running around chasing him as though he's the best thing since sliced bread. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these brothers and sisters who continue to uphold white supremacy because they hate themselves and they hate their country, as well as the white guys that are actually propping them up. Join me in sending them straight to hell. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm here.
Silence, you MAGA.
You ain't getting into heaven. You ain't getting into heaven. Now, and thank you, Rick, brother Rick, in the comment section. I'm glad you brought that up. He brought up Angel. Angel knows who he is on TikTok. He's one of the Latinos for Donald Trump yells, and just totally angry person. And then you sit back and you go, we don't even need to do anything with these demons anymore. If you really want to make a MAGA demon, zip it. Just tell them, say, hey. And you could go find the letter that Donald Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein on his 50th birthday and say, just don't read it for him. Make the MAGA demon read the letter. Make the MAGA demon read the emails, because something happens when the demon actually goes down the exact same path of their dear leader. They start going into convulsions. Yeah, I made him read the letter. Now, and then I say, now, why would Donald Trump be alone with a Jeffrey Epstein victim at Epstein's house? These folks, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden sniffed kids. Okay, that's weird, but that ain't a crime. And who hasn't sniffed something that this problem? That's not, Hakeem Jeffries took money. Stacey Plaskett was listen, check this out. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. They did that. I wouldn't have did it, but you ain't got nothing to say. You have nothing to say about this guy partying up with Jeffrey Epstein, writing him birthday card letters on his 50th birthday. You have nothing to say about putting Ghislaine Maxwell in a minimum security prison. You have nothing to say. And that's when you know you got the demon, because I said, God, how come they don't have nothing to say? And then it came to me. You should have seen it. The clouds parted, and his voice came down, because these folks believe they Christians. So I got to tell it to them like it's a Christian story. The clouds parted. Zeus, they won't say anything because they are also guilty. Oh, W Zeus, W Zeus. And if you've been following this show, occasionally I prove it. The people Donald Trump pardoned, some of the J6ers. What we find out they was up to, what was they doing? Out here doing things that God said don't do, harming the children. Yeah, Robert Morris, you go look him up. Look him up. Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. Y'all guilty. Huh. Zeus, don't you think there's something wrong with the criminal justice system? It's two-tier justice system. I said, okay, check this out. I promise you, MAGA. If you think I'm new to this, I promise you this. Go to any prison. Go to any prison in this country, and you can go talk to all the people that are sitting in prison right now and ask them, do you think you got a fair trial? I guarantee you 100% of the people in prison will say, I didn't get a fair trial. And I said, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Donald Trump running around here talking about a two-tier justice system. Y'all up here propping up a criminal. And they get mad at me because I'll stop MAGA at this point. I'll stop them right there dead in their tracks. I say, listen, you do not have the ability to take the moral high ground with Big Zeus at all. I don't care if the person is really guilty. This person could literally go rob a bank. But if a Trump voter comes to me and says, Zeus, this is a problem, I'm going to say, but didn't you vote for a criminal? See, you can't pretend like you have a problem with criminals, MAGA, when you voted for one. You took away your ability to use that in any kind of discussion. My husband cheated on me, because to the conservative women, my husband cheated on me. Did you vote for Donald Trump? What has that got to do with it, Zeus? I can separate political morals from personal morals. And I said, see, that's how the devil tricked a lot of y'all. That's how the devil tricks you. You can't separate it. Because I've been preaching this, and I've been telling every single one of you folks out there, and they know who I'm talking about. People pay attention to how you think, how you act, and what you say. And when you go out there and you cast your vote for a person that is immoral, a criminal, what you have done, and you could cry about it, I don't care. Crying ain't gonna fix it. You got to do the real work. All right, and you got to repent. What you have done by voting for Donald Trump is you have signaled to everybody in your circle that you are okay with everything Donald Trump does. That's what you've done. Do you know that? So I don't want to hear the crocodile tears when the devil starts doing a number on you, W Zeus. Have I lied? Have I lied yet, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning, lady boss. Nice to see you. Have I lied? Have I lied? I'd be the first one to stand up here and say if I'm wrong, I apologize. Yeah. Oh, you voted for a convicted felon that cheated on all of his wives, and is an SA or an adjudicated SA. You voted for this person? Yes, Zeus, I did. And your husband cheated on you? Yeah, he's a POS. No. Woo! No. You gave him permission, ma'am. You gave your husband, you gave your wife permission to be that way the moment you made it clear that you have no problem when this guy right here does it. And that's what's going to get a lot of y'all sent straight to hell. Y'all sit up in these churches. I don't know what days y'all go to church. What days do these demons claim to be going to church? And the pastor just takes your money. He just takes your money and manipulates you. And then you get out here and you wonder why the devil got his foot in your behind. I can go on and on. Oh my God. They reported me. I knew it. I don't care. I can care less. I know.
Silence, you MAGA.
Yeah. But you see why, ladies and gentlemen, why I tend to be more on the reserved side, and I let a lot of my mutuals come up here to do this kind of level of verbal chastisement, because I understand what I say is terrifying, what I say is scary, but it's true. And that's why they continue to come on back, all right? And they know I'm not lying, all right? Let's move on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen, before we get ourselves into any more trouble this morning, all right? What do I want to talk about next? Oh, yeah, here's a good example of what I mean when I say folks is out there lying and just making up stuff. Let's listen to Scott Bessent claim that beef prices are now high because immigrants are smuggling diseased cattle into the United States.
But what is your take on what you just heard? He's expecting $10 meat.
Well, Maria, the beef market is a very specialized market. It goes in long cycles, and this is the perfect storm. Again, something we inherited, and there's also, because of the mass immigration, a disease that we've been rid of in North America, made its way up through South America. As these migrants, they brought some of their cattle with them. So part of the problem is we've had to shut the.
Okay. Do I have any ranchers out there? Anybody out there in the farming industry? I don't know. See, when I hear stuff like this, my mind went there. I said, so you want Big Zeus to believe that Donald Trump said Joe Biden let 22 million illegal immigrants into the country, right? This is the narrative. And here we are. And the only reason we now know this side of the story, Scott Bessent, is because the price of beef has gone up. Even though Donald Trump told us when he gets into office, all these things would happen, sort of like miracles, right? These prices would come down. Now the prices haven't came down. And so now we get G1 classified information that the reason prices haven't came down now is because when those 22 million immigrants were coming into the country, they were also bringing cows that were full of disease in the country. And how does that look, right? So has anyone seen a person coming in through the border with a bunch of cows? Has anyone out there seen? Because I know someone out there believes this, especially Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom and DJ. Just don't even, if you have, send me a guest request and just bring the screenshot. And if so, I'll apologize. So let's give them a few seconds. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter and you have confirmation, proof that immigrants were sneaking into America and they were bringing a bunch of cattle with them, diseased cattle. I'm going to give them a second. Bear with me. I'm looking. No. MAGA Queen, are you here? Tiny Take Top Tim, you got it? Ladies and gentlemen, I've given them 10 seconds. They ain't got no evidence of this. So what I'll do is this. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. This is worthy. You lying on cows now? Y'all lying on the cows now. Y'all didn't make, the cows is like, what did we do? We had nothing to do with this. But the MAGA demon knows no boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these MAGA demons who are now blaming the cows and the immigrants where they belong. Straight to hell.
Can we get to heaven if possible?
Silence, you MAGA demon.
A sucker is born every day, but MAGA, y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of new licks. And I said it before. A lot of Trump voters, you will not make it to the midterms. You will peacefully cross over into the afterlife. Right? And you know what I mean? That's cult talk. You know how a lot of cults operate. You go in, you never come out. You all will peacefully cross over into the afterlife because your dear leader has made it his primary goal to basically do all he can to harm you. And as long as he blames Joe Biden while he's doing it, you'll accept it. Right? And so he putting that fire on y'all backside. Pow! Joe Biden's doing this to you. Pow! Joe Biden's making me do this. The Democrats are making me do this. Here you go, Trump. Here you go, Trump. Giving them all your money. Here, take my wife. Take Joe Biden. And then next thing you know, you've peacefully crossed over into the afterlife. Congratulations. Y'all voted for this, right? And that's why I say Donald Trump was right when he talked about y'all.
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
W Zeus. Anybody that brands themselves as a smart person, all right? Thank you so much. All right, Covers, thank you. Anybody that brands themselves as a smart person and on the right, and they try to argue still supporting Donald Trump in this moment we're in right now in American history, I'll let them say whatever they need to say. But I want all of you to understand, while you're running your mouth, while you're bumping your gums out here trying to defend the indefensible, all I'm going to be sitting back thinking to myself is, what a fool. What a fool you are. Because if you were really intelligent, you would already understand the ship you are on is sinking. So imagine you're on a sinking ship trying to act as though everything you are saying means that chaos and destruction will not happen to you. Find me one person that's been on a ship that's been sinking, all right, and they were able to talk themselves completely out of drowning. W Zeus. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. Okay. Appeal is not approved. Okay, it is what it is. But we'll just continue to go because I don't like to, restart. What I'd like to do next is this, and I'll give you an example of the ship sinking. How many of you heard this story? Donald Trump is panicking as another GOP representative abruptly quits.
Member just abruptly resigned. Another Republican Congress member just abruptly resigned. MAGA Republican Congress member Troy Nehls over the weekend announced his resignation from the House of Representatives.
Let's go ahead and give him a round of applause. It's too late for you, Troy. It's too late for you. But that's just one less demon around here. All right? That's just one less demon around here.
So that would make the sixth MAGA Republican House of Representative member to announce their resignation. Now, Nehls says he's going to serve out the remainder of his term for now. We'll see about that. But we are expecting there to be other resignations, a wave of resignations we've been talking about and we've heard are coming. And the question is, will some of these additional resignations take place before the midterms, thus switching the speakership from MAGA Mike Johnson to Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries? So here's what we learned about Troy Nehls, this MAGA Republican from Texas. He says he's not seeking re-election. He's from Richmond in Texas. He's been MAGA through and through. I mean, just take a look at the outfits that he would wear in the House of Representatives and in the Capitol building. He'd wear these weird Trump shirts that never surrender, the weird American flag bow ties. This is a real human being, folks, who is a member of Congress or was a member of Congress. He writes the following in announcing his resignation. After more than 30 years in law enforcement, serving and protecting my community as a police officer, constable, Fort Bend County Sheriff, and Army veteran, and 6 years representing this district in Congress, I have made the decision after conversations with my beautiful bride and my girls over the Thanksgiving holiday to focus on my family and return home after this Congress. Now, these MAGA Republican Congress members seem to be realizing that they will be in the minority soon and that there's about to be a blue tsunami that will wipe them out of the House of Representatives. Accountability is coming to them. Accountability is coming to this Trump regime.
Yep.
And we see these rats abandoning the sinking ship.
There you go, rats abandoning the sinking ship. W Zeus. All right, W, lady boss. We're bringing a hammer of justice down on these demons. Ben Marcellus, Midas touch. That's who is speaking. You can go look it up. Thank you, lady boss. So what I'm saying is this: the fact that we see all these clear MAGA demons, these folks have done the unimaginable to demonstrate that they are loyal creatures to Donald Trump, and they are now jumping ship. Why are you out there still supporting Donald Trump? Especially Blaga. Because you know Blagger, and I gotta say this: if you watch most scary movies, who dies first in the scary movies, ladies and gentlemen? Who's the first person to lose their life in the scary movies? You got a bunch of white folks running around in the woods, and then you got you got these brothers that somehow ended up in the woods. Who's the first person to lose their life in the scary movie? And I can say that. Black. Thank you, Blagger. Yeah. And someone says, "Well, Zeus, don't you care about black people?" I said, "No, I care. I love black people, but Blagger, I could care less." Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire. And I do hope this scary movie starts off the way it should. Actually, it already has. Bunch of Blagger folks running into the woods. Who's coming? Jason, Freddy Krueger, all of them. No, it's not them. Who? Oh, it's Donald Trump. Oh, what is he gonna do? He's gonna do something very dangerous. And then what? Zeus is gonna send us where? Straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well.
Yeah, WZs. Yeah, they wanna report the live. Am I being too mean this morning, ladies and gentlemen? Am I being too mean? Because I just see all these people and I go, shouldn't you be happy? Shouldn't you be excited that I'm out here to live? Okay, W to the chat. Thank you. Thank you. They're just haters. Thank you. You're good. Thank you. I'm not. Someone said I'm not mean enough. Wow. I mean, and there's so many reasons to be mean, and we'll get into those reasons, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do, we got some more judgment. We got some more Lake of Fire judgments to do. All right. And this is going to be with. How many of you know who Kristi Noem is, ladies and gentlemen? Kristi Noem went on to Meet the Press this weekend, and a lot of you may have heard it. And this is typical MAGA demon behavior. I mean, I just want to say this. There's a lot of people that I think are going to be doing a lot of hard time in prison when this is all said and done. And I think Kristi Noem is right up there. And you could just listen to her and tell, okay, this is somebody who clearly loves to lie and place people's lives in danger, especially with what she's doing with ICE. So we're going to listen to Kristi Noem explain from her side of the, from her position, how the suspect who did this heinous act in Washington, D.C., all right, her administration, DHS, they approved his asylum, and everybody knows this. I posted a video, and all the people in the comments said, but she approved his asylum. So that's already understood. But she goes on to Meet the Press and lies for her dear leader because she is truly afraid about, possibly facing prosecution. You never know.
Here in this country, we do believe it was through connections in his home community and state, and we're going to continue to talk to those who interacted with him, who were his family members, to talk to them. So far, we've had some participation, but anyone who has information on this needs to know that we will be coming after you and we will bring you to justice. We absolutely will persecute you because we do know that we will never allow this to continue to happen in our country. Allow individuals who came to our country that were unvetted by Joe Biden, allowed to run free and loose. We are going to bring them to justice and make sure that they're returned out of this country if they aren't here for the purposes of being an American.
I want to follow up with you. I mean, you say something very notable. You say he was radicalized here. This suspect, we should note, was a member of the CIA-trained strike force. According to former intelligence and military officials, he would have undergone extensive vetting during his tenure there. And afterwards, it is worth noting Citizenship and Immigration Services, an agency which is a part of DHS, approved the suspect's asylum application in April of this year. Why did the Trump administration grant the suspect asylum in April? Did you know then that he was moving toward radicalization?
You see, you're supposed to let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. Otherwise, it's all a bunch of lies. And what Kristi Noem is not realizing is all the rhetoric, all of her words that she is saying, they all have to be, you have to be able to tie it to the truth. And she is literally digging her own grave on national television because everybody knows, Kristi, that your agencies that were involved, they approved this man's asylum. And if you knew he was radicalized, W. Leah, by the way, and if you knew he was radicalized, the question remains, why'd you approve his asylum? If you knew Joe Biden did all these bad things, Christy, why haven't you fixed it, Christy? And listen to Christy, ladies and gentlemen, just lie through her teeth. Lie so much she might as well be a rug.
Well, Kristen, you need to remember that when this abandonment of Afghanistan happened, the Biden administration put people on airplanes, brought them to the United States without vetting them. Okay. They brought them into our country and then said they would vet them afterwards. And then at that time, to do a good job of vetting people, you need to have cooperation of that.
You know, this is how you know someone is lying. And I got to say this, and this is what MAGA does. Isn't it so interesting when someone could come up to you and they know everything you did, right? They know everything the other person did, and you ask them about what they did, and they Ray Charles, they Stevie Wonder. Well, I don't know about what I did, but I sure know what Zeus did. I sure know what you did, but you don't know anything about what you did. You don't know anything about Donald Trump, but you're really good at connecting the dots and paying attention. Okay, yeah, that's a clue that the person is lying.
Government that is from their country. You have to have a stable government that will give you information, contacts, background information, and biometrics that you may need to identify that individual, their dates of service. All of that vetting information was collected by Joe Biden's administration that was used and in the process. So President Trump, thankfully, has completely changed that. We are now using all social media content. We're going after what they have been doing with their contacts, their biometric data information we are collecting. Now, when we vet individuals under this administration, we know who they are, why they are here, and going through that. Unfortunately, this individual, that entire process happened under Joe Biden's watch.
Well, but
no, it didn't, ma'am. She just gave you ironclad information that the entire process didn't happen under Joe Biden. Actually, a portion of it, a very important portion of it, you know, the asylum part, that happened under you, Christy. And you're going to sit up here and lie on national television. I hope she gets investigated for this because, again, she's either the deep state or she's covering for the deep state.
Just to be very clear, I want to go back to what happened on the Trump administration's watch. He was extensively vetted in order to serve alongside U.S. service members as a part of the CIA trained strike force. But in terms of what happened on the Trump administration's watch, just to be very clear, what vetting did the Trump administration do before giving this suspect asylum?
The vetting process, Kristen, happens when the person comes into the country, and Joe Biden completely did not vet any of these individuals, did not vet this individual. Wow. Waited until he got into the United States, and then that application for asylum was opened under the Joe Biden administration when he was the president in the White House and allowed that to go forward with the information that they provided. That's the Biden administration's responsibility. This is the consequences of the dangerous situation he put our country in when he allowed those people to infiltrate our country during that abandonment of Afghanistan.
Say Biden.
And that's why I'm so grateful we have a president now that isn't going to allow it to happen, that he now has put in place measures under his watch at the Department of Homeland Security that we are bringing in new information on vetting, new information to use, such as what do they do on Facebook, what do they do on TikTok and other social media platforms, and who are they talking to, who are their conversations with, and we use their biometric data information now to check to make sure they are who they say they are, and they're here for the right intentions.
Biometric and
we are going
Biden.
to talk about some of the steps the president's taking, but I just want to be very clear about this because his asylum was approved in April of this year on the Trump administration's watch. So just to be very clear, was there a vetting process in place to approve that asylum request?
Say Biden.
Yeah, the vetting process all happened under Joe Biden's administration.
So was he vetted when he was granted asylum?
Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. I knew she was going to give me the word Biden again. Biden, biometrics, and okay, ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire because that's Christy Nome right here. She has a serious case of Trump derangement syndrome. This is real Trump derangement syndrome. When you can't see your dear leader for who he really is, and all you can do is run around on the internet, on the news, Biden, 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 you might as well give Polly a cracker. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Christy Nome where she belongs, straight to hell.
get to heaven if possible.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
Yeah, Biden, probably want a cracker. That's all you get with these individuals. I mean, I'd rather you put a parrot on these shows. At least that'd be more entertaining, right? W Zeus. All right, I know I gotta hurry up and round the corner and get to the box and start talking to some of you wonderful and amazing people out there. All right, but there's something very serious out there that I want to make sure we get on the record, ladies and gentlemen. And this definitely this has to do with what we all understand to be a very serious matter, which honestly I believe may result in some folks going to prison. All right, and I'm saying this with the hope that, because this show reaches a lot of different places. Mrs. Renee, thank you so much. This show reaches a lot of different places, and I'm hoping there's somebody that's in The Hague, maybe Jack Smith, perhaps. I hope they're listening to this. All right, and this definitely has to do with something that's trending quite a bit on social media, and this has to do with Donald Trump's Secretary of War Crimes. You know who he is. Donald Trump's Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Hegseth. Yeah, running around here, and word around town is he said they may have done something. And so what we'll do is we'll explain to you why Donald Trump is panicking and soiling his diapers, so to speak. And it starts with what Senator Mark Kelly said yesterday.
The other big story this week, you joined 5 other Democratic lawmakers in a video urging service members to disobey orders they believe are illegal. We're seeing some of that video play, Senator, right now.
Yeah.
In response, the Pentagon has opened an investigation into military laws. It says that you may have violated. The FBI is reportedly launching its own probe. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has personally threatened to recall you to active duty so that you can be court-martialed. Secretary Hegseth adding your video, quote, intentionally undercut good order and discipline. Did it?
I said something very simple and non-controversial.
Uh-oh.
And Donald Trump said I should be hanged, executed, prosecuted. Pete Hegseth said I should be court-martialed. I mean, how ridiculous is this? We say follow the law, and this is their response. These are not serious people. And Kristen, this is meant to just intimidate us. We're sticking up for the Constitution here and the rule of law.
Yeah.
And they're saying these folks should be executed for doing that. I mean, Pete Hegseth is not a serious person. He's unqualified for this job.
True.
Should have never been put in this job. I did not vote for him. I think he is the least qualified Secretary of Defense in the history of our country by far. And you can see this by how he has done this job over the last 6 months. And this president thinks he can bully and intimidate people, and he's not gonna stop me for speaking out and holding him accountable for the things that he does that are wrong and unlawful.
Do you plan to cooperate with any investigation, including a potential court-martial?
Well, just like saying that we should be hanged, executed, that's about intimidation. Sending the FBI after us, that's further intimidation.
Yeah.
I'll follow the law, but I'm not going to be intimidated.
And ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, I want you to understand, as crazy as Donald Trump is, he's also listening to what Senator Mark Kelly is saying, because he also understands there is a bridge too far. Okay, it's one thing to commit some of these U.S. crimes, but it's another thing to be a war criminal. And Donald Trump is paying attention to what he's saying, and we'll get into why Donald Trump is reacting the way he is.
Not going to be bullied, especially by Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth.
No.
Well, let me ask you about the substance of this video and your message in it. What specific orders do you believe President Trump made that you consider unlawful?
Well, so this is looking forward, but let me give you a pass, an outline of things that he has said. In 2016, he said that the U.S. military will follow his illegal orders. He said something on a debate stage and was reminded that would be illegal. And he said the military will not refuse his orders, regardless of whether they're legal or not. He also talked about shooting protesters in the legs. How un-American, how unconstitutional is that? Fortunately, there was a Secretary of Defense that has stopped this. He's also talked about sending troops into U.S. cities to use those cities and people for training.
Ooh.
I mean, we're concerned because of this president with this Secretary of Defense that we could have a significant problem. So this was a simple message, follow the law, and it was looking forward.
Well, and let me talk to you about some of what's happening right now. The Washington Post reported that Secretary Hegseth gave an order to kill everybody on one of those suspected drug boats during the first strike in September. Are you calling for U.S. service members to actively disobey orders like those?
Well, if orders are illegal, not only do they not have to follow them, they are legally required not to follow them.
Do you think that constitutes an illegal order?
I think there needs to be an investigation, and I hope that the reporting is not accurate. I care so much about the United States Navy and those service members. This was an operation involving the most professional members of the military, U.S. Navy SEALs, who I revere. I hope and pray that this is not true. But there needs to be an investigation by the Inspector General. Pete Hegseth fired many of the inspectors general in DOD. But who's ever left needs to investigate it. We're going to investigate it. I sit on the Armed Services Committee. We're going to have an investigation. We're going to have a public hearing. We're going to put these folks under oath, and we're going to find out what happened, and then there needs to be accountability.
Boom. So Donald Trump heard this, and he literally soiled his diaper. Because one thing Donald Trump understands is this: he's already, between the Epstein files, the economy, and all these other things, he's already, dealing with quite a bit. The last thing he needs on his plate is, discussions about him being a war criminal, along with his Secretary of War crimes, Pete Hegseth, right? And so that takes me to the last part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where Donald Trump himself, and you've all been following this, he basically throws Pete Hegseth under the bus. All right, he throws Pete Hegseth under the bus. And what we'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, we'll let Donald Trump throw Pete Hegseth under the bus, and then we'll also catch up on some of the other things he said, and then we'll go straight to judgment. So number one, let's watch Donald Trump throw Pete Hegseth under the bus.
Does it mean that an airstrike is imminent, or should we not read it that way?
Don't read anything into it.
The New York Times reported that you had a phone call with Maduro. Did you?
I don't want to comment on it. The answer is yes.
And can you tell us a little bit?
No, I can't do that.
Would you say it went well?
I would say it went well or badly.
You think so?
Can you talk a little bit about the strikes and the controversy around the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth?
I don't know anything about it. He said he did not say that, and I believe him.
He says he doesn't know anything about the double tap that Pete did, and that Pete said that he didn't do it. Trump, you were supposed to get behind Pete and say, yeah, me and my buddy Pete, we did that and we'll do it again. Notice Donald Trump isn't doing that. And he's doing that for a real clear reason. Because he knows these investigations, and he already knows what the data says, the evidence says. He knows. That's why Mark Kelly says, I hope what I'm hearing isn't true, because if it is true, this right here, orange is the new black, W Zeus. I just threw that out. Somebody's going. Pete's going to, I go on the X and I go, Trump and Pete are going to jail. Trump and Pete are going to jail. And then they're going to go to hell. Yeah, imagine them two sharing a jail cell. Now, the other thing that I need to address, ladies and gentlemen, it has to do with blatant hypocrisy. So Donald Trump has told us he's going to war with Venezuela because of rugs coming into, they're sending rugs into the country. But we all heard the news that he has pardoned a notorious rug dealer who's put over 500 million pounds of very dangerous stuff into this country, pumped it into this country, and Donald Trump is pardoning or says he's going to pardon him. Listen to Donald Trump explain why he's going to pardon somebody that's doing exactly what he's willing to go to war with Venezuela about.
We have a corruption situation going on, which is not helpful.
Is that impeding the peace talks?
I said it was going on for 3 years, right? Didn't I say 3 years? I said it.
did I just?
CNN, and I think Ukraine. I know Ukraine would like to see that.
You said that Israel has a little bit of problems.
Oh, we have a corruption situation going on, which is not helpful.
And is that impeding the peace talks?
They said it was going on for 3 years, right? Didn't they say 3 years? They said it was. I was way ahead of schedule.
There it goes.
But I think that.
The controversy around Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
I don't. He didn't do it, so I don't have to make that decision.
There it goes.
Clear plans to keep drugs out of the U.S. Can you explain more about why you would pardon a notorious drug trafficker?
Why are you pardoning a notorious drug trafficker?
Juan Fernando Hernandez.
Well, I was told I was asked by.
So the thing is, he says, first of all, he doesn't even know who the person is that he's pardoning. Is that acceptable, ladies and gentlemen, for the President of the United States of America to not even know who he's pardoning? You see what I'm saying? It's the exact same thing he accused Joe Biden of doing. And speaking of Joe Biden, let's see how he ties the reason he's pardoning someone he has no clue who he is. Let's see why he's doing it.
Well, I was told I was asked by Honduras, many of the people of Honduras, they said it was a Biden setup.
Biden.
What Biden didn't do was alive, but it was the people that surround the Resolute desk, surround Biden when he was there, which was about very little time. And the people of Honduras really thought he was set up, that it was a terrible thing. He was the president of the country, and they basically said he was a drug dealer because he was the president of the country. And they said it was a Biden administration setup, and I looked at the facts and I agreed with them.
So he said it's a Biden administration setup, and he personally looked at the facts and he agrees with them. But he's also arguing that he has no clue who this person is. So this leads us to the last part of the interview, ladies and gentlemen, and this has to do with, his health condition, all right? I mean, and this is on the record. I mean, you hear this stuff and you say, okay, did he just say that? Out of nowhere, he brings up the results of his MRI.
My MRI. MRIs are very.
Governor Walz asked you to release the MRI records.
Can you tell us what it was
Governor
for?
Walz, you mean the incompetent governor?
Washington.
So if they want to release it, it's okay with me to release it. It's perfect.
What was the what were they
It's like
looking
my
for?
phone call where I got impeached. It's absolutely perfect. So if you want to hear about it or if you want to release it, do you want to have it released?
Yes,
News Nation, failing News Nation. News Nation is doing lousy, by the way. But if you want to have it released, I'll release it.
Okay.
Can you tell us what they were looking at?
Want releasing?
No. What part of your body was the MRI looking
I
at?
have no idea. We just didn't.
What part of your body was the MRI looking at? I have no idea. You don't know who you're pardoning. You're going to get an MRI. You have no idea what they're doing, but you looked at all the data and you found out Joe Biden was the problem. You know everything that's going wrong in this country and how Joe Biden contributed to it, but you have no idea why you're getting the MRI. And you actually said that it should be released. How many of you think he's going to release the MRI? What do you think he'll release first? The results of the MRI or the Epstein files? Oops, I shouldn't have said that, right? Which one do you think he'll release first? The MRI results or the Epstein files? Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need to go any further into this world of delusion. You know exactly what it is. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire. And this is for everybody out there that's still supporting Donald Trump. Obviously, you're the worst of the worst. You're the scum of the earth. The truth is not in you. All right, because darkness does not comprehend the light. You can continue to make as many excuses as you want for why you are still supporting the dear leader. But at the end of the day, I want you to understand nobody on earth believes you and your lies. So join me, ladies and gentlemen, in sending these demons where they belong once again, straight to hell.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well.
W Zeus. And you can keep reporting me. You can keep reporting me. I don't care at this moment. I've gotten a lot of content out. W to all of you in the audience. You've done an outstanding job reminding MAGA their place. MAGA, you have no place, all right, other than to sit down and continue to listen to this special broadcast, all right? And for you who are out there, and I see you crying in my comment section, you can say I have TDS as much as you want. That ain't going to get you saved, all right? But if it's really bothering you, do us all a huge favor.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
W, Lady Ball. Hey, I just want to laugh real quick. I just want to laugh, ladies and gentlemen. Where are you at? He in the bathroom.
Hey, what's going on?
He's in the bathroom. Oh, got to go outside? You got to go outside? Hurry up.
Nope.
Hurry up, go outside.
Nope, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
All right, so why should I entertain you this morning? Because I already know what you're coming up here. You're coming up here to cry about Michael Cohen and why I didn't ask him any questions, right?
No, because that's a proven fact.
Okay.
You're afraid to ask the real
what do you want?
questions. You're
Why are
afraid
you
to ask
still,
the real questions? Just
why are
admit
you
it.
listen? Why are you still supporting a man that danced with Epstein?
How do you know he did?
You think this is a joke? All right. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. We got certified.
Wait, no, I have a question for you.
No. Then take that back.
Can you
take that back?
Hold on.
Take
I have
that
a question.
Back. No. How do you know he did? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Tiny Tank Top 10 where he belongs, straight to hell. Easy. That's what you got to do to him.
Silence, you MAGA.
W Zeus, and make sure you wash your hands, you filthy animal. I don't understand. I don't even understand. See, that's what you got to do with these folks. We all have seen the video, bro. All right, move on to the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any Trump voters out there? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and understand this. You're not asking me the questions. I'm asking you the questions because the truth is on my side, not yours. I already know a lot of you Trump voters, you do not have the ability to tell the truth about anything that comes to Donald Trump. You have no ability to tell the truth. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about what Stacey Plaskett did. I don't want to hear about Hakeem Jeffries. I really don't care. I want to know, why do we have a moment in American history where it's even a debate about whether or not the president of the United States is part of a P3DO ring? That shouldn't even be a debate. The fact that it is an issue should tell us we're really going in the wrong direction as a country. And the reason this is even a problem right now is because we have some so-called Christians out there who can't get their faces, their heads out of Donald Trump's dirty, disgusting diaper. W Zeus. And Day. I remember now what I was saying, because there's a guy named Day. I've known him for 4 years. You know, I went into his live and he never answered the question. I said, listen, champ, you in a neighborhood and there's rumors circulating that some dude you hanging out with may have done something very disgusting to kids. I go, would you hang out with him? And that's the question. Oh, well, we don't got any proof. I'm like, okay, you might not have all the evidence, but hey, if it's even an issue, bro, you got to draw your boundaries just in case. All right? If it's even something that's circulating out there. But with Donald Trump, you got ample evidence, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, ample evidence. I mean, think about it.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Who talks like that? Yo, you got partners out there that talk like that? How many of y'all got partners out there that talk like that? Blagger. I'm looking for Blagger in particular. How many of y'all got partners out there that talk like that? See how they go radio silent when I start calling them out on their hypocrisy? How many of y'all got partners out there that talk like that? Go ahead and see your daughter running around and start, saying nasty things about that. How many of y'all got partners out there like that? Yeah, I didn't think so. I would dare one of you to come up here and tell us, yeah, you got homeboys you hang out with and y'all pour a few and y'all kick back and y'all all joke about that. So if it's not acceptable for your homeboys to do it, think about how insane it looks for you to be out here putting your face on this and acting like this is acceptable. You might have kids looking up to you out here and they hear you and they see you on the internet defending this kind of behavior. What do you think you saying to those kids? See, this ain't just TikTok. See, that's the problem. Y'all keep thinking this is a game. This ain't just TikTok. We could screen. They gonna screen record it and they gonna say, "Isn't this you?" You don't even know everything that's going on with Donald Trump. You don't know 100% he's innocent. You don't. But you putting your reputation on the line for this guy? That's wild. Y'all putting your reputations on the line for this man right here. Out of all the human beings on earth, you putting it on the line for this one. And you can see even people that know him directly, like Marjorie Trader Green, she done said, "Hey, I gotta tap out." They jump in the ship, and you still out here putting your reputation on the line for this man. You saw him dancing with Jeffrey Epstein. See, these folks ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, a bunch of demons. Let me go ahead to the next guest. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See, it don't take long to expose you liars. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter. I'll bring you right on up here. It don't take long. W Lady Boss. W Lady Boss. Hold on. Even if it's a joke, it's disgusting. You can't come in my box and start telling me the things that I know ain't really true. All right? Because, see, once you start doing that, I know what you're doing. You're trying to manipulate me. And I'm going to be honest with you. That might work with the weak-minded individuals you associate with, but it doesn't work over here. So get in the box and be prepared to tell the truth. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter. I'll bring you right on up. It doesn't take long. Yeah, it's a bipartisan investigation into Donald Trump and his war crimes. You can go look this stuff up. You don't got to trust me. All right. They don't want to put any 1s on my chat, ladies and gentlemen. And I promise you, these folks, they don't put a 1 in my chat, but soon as I pop up in a red space, guess what they'll do? "Oh, I've been waiting to get you, Zeus. I've been waiting to cook you. You ain't cooking nothing." Nutty, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. You?
Doing great. How was your Indigenous Peoples Day?
I could say, it went very well. What about yours? Very well.
Mine went wonderful. I have a house in Nashville, so I went to my home in Nashville, and I actually got a chance to do some campaigning.
Yeah. Okay.
With
Afton Bain?
Well, I did it with her, so I got a chance to meet her. We hung out. We served the least of these, and I like to say it that way because there's always people worse off than we are, and especially this time of year when we're at the holidays. They don't have family, they don't have friends, they don't have people that care.
Yeah.
And in this world, we are built to be our brother's keeper. And to just have somebody to show that they care, it puts a light in people's eyes. And it's the most wonderful thing. If you all have not gotten out there to volunteer, y'all need to do it because it's life-changing. First of all, it really will make you be grateful and thankful for the things that we have. Top of it,
it teaches humility too. It helps keep you humble and grounded.
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. I don't have everything that I want, Zeus, but I have everything that I need.
Amen.
So, but with that being said, I have a question for you. This is very rhetorical, by the way. So we hear that this man behind you, he keeps saying and he keeps justifying the obliteration of these boats over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying TikTok
war
friendly.
crimes. We call them war crimes.
Yeah,
He's trying to justify.
He keeps talking about they're bringing in all these rugs into the United States, but yet I want to know where conservative Democrat. I want to know where our buddy Snuggles is, because how do you justify saying that they're blowing up these boats because of shrugs that they don't even know for sure shrugs are on there, but yet you're going to pardon an ex-president of Honduras, who absolutely was found guilty of bringing in 400 tons into the United States. In fact, In fact, during the trial, Zeus,
Yep.
one of the statements that he made is that he's going to be making the drugs pour out of the ears of all Americans.
Yep.
That's how vile this man is.
Yeah.
But yet he's talking about giving him a pardon. So how do you bridge that gap? Can you tell me?
Is there a Trump voter out there that could come up here and help clarify what we're, why this is acceptable? You're right, Nutty. I can't think of an answer that's.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. I see. I'm coming in. Very just inquisitive. Because you know me, Zeus. We've been rocking and rolling for 4 years now.
Yep.
And when I get passionate about something, I can tend to elevate my voice.
True.
And I'm keeping my tone down so they won't be afraid.
Good. Thank you, Nutty.
It's a question because it's truly a question that I need an answer to.
Okay. So let's slow this down because I don't think they're understanding what we're looking for. So let's say it in a way that perhaps they can understand it. Is there anybody out there that voted for Donald Trump that can come up here and help us understand why it's okay for Donald Trump to pardon someone who's been pumping rugs into the country? We're just trying to understand how that works. Anyone out there? See, I was a little nicer than you, Nutty. You see how I did that?
You were.
Thank
I
you.
say, here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing, Zeus.
Yeah.
He wasn't accused of it. He was found guilty of it. He was found guilty of it.
Yeah. Well, see, I threw the accused of it. See, you're scaring them when you say that, Nutty. You got to use things like accused.
Oh, my bad.
Because then we might get somewhere with him. So anyone out there?
So this poor man was accused, and Zeus, I don't know, but I didn't see the transcript, so I don't think there was evidence.
Yeah.
I don't think there was evidence.
Alleged. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
None of them. No one's taking the bait, Nutty. No one.
Of course not. It's interesting because Mark Wayne Mullen. First of all, when you got Mark Wayne Mullen, that's a whole discussion in itself.
Wow.
He had the unmitigated gall to get on CNN,
Mm-hmm.
and the reporter asked him about this very topic, and for him to spin it and say that we need to reestablish our relationship with Honduras, so therefore this is a goodwill gesture. And President Trump is showing strength through peace. How are you showing strength through peace? By letting off yet again another criminal. Time and time and again, we keep talking about this regime releasing criminals, but yet they want to be seen as the regime of law and order. Those two worlds cannot collide for me.
Nope. Tell them.
They can't collide because time and time and again, you keep letting people who were found guilty of certain crimes, you keep letting them off.
Yeah.
Not to mention the 1,600 people that one swipe of an auto pen, you let Jan 6 off.
Yep. Wow.
So we can't get these answers because they don't have answers to these questions, Zeus.
Thank you.
All they want to talk about is Joe Biden.
Oh, I'm not accepting Joe Biden as a satisfactory answer on this show. I'm not doing it. I just can't do it. I get enough of it outside of the show. Every time I turn on the TV, Joe Biden. You might as well be a bunch of parrots.
Like at some point, and I get sick of saying it myself, and I know people on our side get sick of saying it too.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say it one more time, just for the record. If this were Joe Biden doing anything remotely to this, he would not have my support. He would not have any of our support, and I absolutely believe that within my core. That he would not have your support.
No.
He would not have my support. I know that for sure.
Because
people who get on this show every day talking to you, he wouldn't have their support either.
Absolutely not. W Nutty. Well, listen, brother. We're gonna move it on.
Yeah, in closing, listen. Y'all get out there, volunteer. But Tennessee, Tennessee, I know you here because there's 1.3K people in this room right now.
Yeah.
I need y'all to get out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like your life depends on it, because it does.
Amen.
I need y'all to get out there in mass numbers and vote for Afton. She's somebody that's going to represent you, not only represent you, but we need you all to put her in office so she can represent us. Thank you for the time, Zeus. Have a great day, brother.
All right. W, Nutty. Yes, Afton Bain in Tennessee. Make sure you get your behinds up and get out there and vote. Two things that are important right now when it comes to the Democrat Party. One is definitely affordability, but the second thing is accountability. And the fact that it's even a close race speaks volumes, all right? As far as I'm concerned, she already won in my book. Let's go, Tennessee. Vote blue. All right. Do we have any Trump voters out there? Go ahead and put a 1 in the comment section, or write whatever it is you write to identify yourselves as someone that voted for Donald Trump. Because don't tell me the poll numbers are correct and that Donald Trump is losing support. I saw some of you running around here saying it's 87%. You see, this is how you catch them lying. Okay, so if it's 87%, where are you at? Where are the people? Oh, well, it's 87% in the Republican Party. Okay, great. Where are you at? They ain't here. Idaho is coming, Zeus. Oh, Paz, please, Paz, Paz. Okay, keep on dreaming, bro. Keep on dreaming, because you know what they did in Idaho. And Paz, maybe you don't know this, but you should look into it. They invited Qatar. All right, you know who that is? That country. They're training out there at one of the Air Force bases, right? And remember, that totally goes against what y'all stand for. Remember, y'all supposed to be protecting the country from that. But guess what you're doing? Guess what they're doing? Y'all are bringing them in. That's a huge W, Zeus. Hey, Paz, and get ready to get back to work, Paz, because you know what they're saying? Your Medicaid, they're going to take that from you, and then they're going to put you out in the field. You're going to get off of that Medicaid, and you're going to get out in the field, because guess what you did? There's a huge vacuum of work that needs to get done in this country, Paz, and you look like you fit the description. W, Zeus. Good morning, Cindy. How are you? Welcome. Cindy, are you there? Uh-oh. Are you there, Cindy? It looks like it's taking a second for you to get through. Maybe that was an accident. All right. Well, W, Cindy. Good friend of mine. Oh, tapping on accident, you think. Okay, a lot of people do that. Good morning, Cece. How are you? Uh-oh, another tapping. Maybe it was. Uh-oh, don't worry. W, Cece. I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, I see a demon. I see a demon, ladies and gentlemen. Zeus snuggles some steaks. Now, that's a demon because you're not even spelling it correctly. But come on up here and tell me why I owe that loser anything, please. Yeah. Oh, they don't want to come up. They can't even spell, right? W, Zeus. Okay. Fair enough. I thought so. We'll keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep it moving. All right, let's move it along. Angel, good morning. How can I help you? Angel.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know another Angel. I thought that's who this was, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not that Angel, all right? Wow. Let's move it along. Good morning, Veronica. Welcome to the show. How are you? It could be another tapping. Good morning, Veronica. How are you? Oh, another tapper. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Wow, we got an interesting lineup. Poetivity, welcome. Did you accidentally request, or did you send an actual request?
I sent an actual request.
Okay, welcome.
I had like a question, well, an idea. So, do you know what an emu is?
The animal?
Yeah.
I know of them. I'm not too familiar with what they do, but I know what they look like.
Yeah. Okay. Once upon a time, I would work, and just for entertaining myself, I would slip the word emu into a paragraph so that people would have to correct me, like saying, you accidentally wrote emu, and and I'd correct myself. But what I was thinking is that there's a lot of people online that have become dependent on online jobs, trolling for a certain grumpy man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we know that they're paid, and we know that they come up and they all have the same talking points and they all spout the same thing. But I'm kind of like Americans for Americans, right? So they're trapped. They've got jobs now that pay them quite a bit. They've got these talking points they don't believe in anymore, and they've seen what a lousy job Grumpy has done for the country. And so I was thinking that when they came in the box, if they said the word emu sometime during the conversation, that we could identify them as people needing a better job.
Oh.
Yeah, so it might be possible to help those people find a better job, if we made a list of them, and then reached out to all the network of people that we know and tried to find better jobs for those.
Okay, well, I see them. Paz. Hey, Paz, you need a job? Marsha, you need a job? So Marsha and Paz are here, Poetivity. What would you like to say to them? Because they need a job.
Yeah, I think that, depending on like where they are in the country and what kind of disabilities maybe they have, like a lot of people have disabilities that work these online jobs, and they might need some help. And so I was just thinking that we could start to gather information if they popped up into the box and sometime during the conversation said the word emu, which won't be scanned or, anything by anyone blocked, or then we could identify them and we could know these are Americans of ours that need help finding something else to do besides trolling for Grumpy.
Okay. And you know what? Marsha said she has a great job, and we know that's not true. So she's struggling because what you've done is you've basically, the Wizard of Oz, take the last part when they go behind the curtain, they see who's there, right?
Right.
She doesn't like that. And so could you help her understand it's okay to admit that she doesn't have a job and that she needs help? Because that's hard. That's part of the problem, the pride.
Well, yeah, they're just stuck trolling for
yeah, I do.
I know you, Marsha. He's a P3DO, and they're stuck trolling for him and pulling for his administration when his policies are destroying the country.
Yeah.
And so if we could help these people get out of this rut by helping them. I mean, I know there's a lot of really talented people on TikTok who know a lot about different online jobs that people could do that might help them get out of the situation that they're in, where they are pushing for the destruction of the world, basically, because he doesn't even believe in climate change, and so he's helping like the evil villain destroy the world.
Yeah. Thank you.
And they're stuck in that job because they need to feed their family. So it seems to me that if they drop the word emu in,
drop it, Marsha,
or if we say, are you a skinny bird? Then we could help identify these people.
Somebody needs to get a photo of the emu, and I want the headshot of it, right? And just bring it up here. Because I think we need to see the emu and let Marsha and Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, DJ and Paz, all of them in my comment section understand this is a safe space for emus.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you, Poetivity. That's an amazing idea because that's definitely extending an olive branch. I'm not quite there yet, but if I could leverage my platform to do some good on Earth, then you know what? We might just have to do it. And no offense to the real emus out there, all right? None.
None. I want to help people
Yes, you
get
are.
out of the rut they're in, where they have to thump for this P3DO and this world destroyer. Like, they're employed by an evil man.
Wow.
So,
well, listen, Poetivity, that's an amazing gesture of kindness, which shows that us on the left, we're not as radical as they like to say. We're actually very concerned about our fellow Americans. And I hope that someone takes you up on your offer and puts the code word in the chat so we can get them that help. All right.
yeah. So anybody who knows of online jobs, watch for the emus, and help them out of their rut.
All right.
And I will. I'm busy building a factory where I live, but it's like, let's help the emus to a better life.
I agree. Let's help the emus. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Poetivity a huge round of applause. All right.
Thank you, Zeus. Thanks for having me up, and you're still the most handsome.
Thank you. Woo-wee. Thank you. You know, Nutty's gonna be, his feelings are hurt. Goodbye, Nutty. We don't care. So you did good, Nutty. All right. So I saw Marsha. Hey, good morning, Val. Hey, Marsha, are you there in the audience? I noticed that Poetivity, she struck a nerve, and you've been spamming my comments with, you have a job, and I just want you to know you don't have to say that. All right, we can see right through you, and we understand things aren't as they, you've been saying that they are. And so if you want to get up here and come testify this morning about, what's really going on, I would be more than willing to be a good friend for you in that moment. All right, if you want to do that, Marsha, you want to come on up here, Marsha, you want to come on up here? Come on. And you could be the trendsetter, so to speak, Marsha. You could basically open the door and be the first person to walk away from the cult and recognize that this isn't enough money for you to be putting up with everything you're putting up with. All right, Marsha, you want to come on up here? Has anyone seen Marsha? She's not here? Well, then guess what, Marsha? A hard head makes for a soft behind. W. Zeus. Ooh, good morning, Ange. Welcome to the show, Ange. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Zeus?
I'm doing pretty good, dealing with, I've been reported a couple times, but I'm outside of that.
I was
okay.
late to the show. I'm sorry. I have a tardy note though for you.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to address something real quick. I'm going to try not to be up here too long. But this Paz person down here has made some he's a standard MAGA. So he's made some very vile comments. I tried to pin them, but I can't because he's a loser and you can't. I think when they are on a private account or they can't go online, whatever. Anyway, when you said that lady's name, you didn't know how to pronounce it, if it was Sissy or Cece.
Yeah.
Or Cece. So you said Cece, and it reminded me of our beloved Cece that we lost on May 16th.
True.
Do you know what he said? And I took a screenshot. He said Cece got her karma just saying. And then after that, a few lines later, he said to somebody, I'm all right with Jesus. Would Jesus like that to be said? Paz, I'm trying to use my calm voice, but what I'd really like to do is just rip right into you. But this is Zeus's show. I dare you to come to mine, because that is sick. Don't tell me you're right with God and with Jesus, and then tell me that a woman who passed suddenly of a heart attack that used to come in here for 4 years got her karma.
Does he know that Cece passed away? And he said that?
Yes. He said she got her karma because I wrote R.I.P. Cece with a sad face. And right after that, he addressed me and said, Cece I have the screenshots, all of them.
Well, you know what I like to do before I go and exercise harsh judgment.
Yes.
We're going to give him an opportunity to explain this. Hey, Paz, why don't you come on up here?
Come on up,
And if you
Paz.
don't have the testicular fortitude, like Brother Swervin likes to say, then you know what that means. Mr. Mayhem has arrived. And I've put Mr. Mayhem away. I've done it because TikTok said I can't do it. But doesn't mean I don't have access to Mr. Mayhem. So, ladies and gentlemen,
This is what I'm sick of with them
knows.
saying they're Christians.
Yeah.
He'll never come up. He will never come up. He's a coward. He'll just stay down there in the comments and say horrible things like that. Don't tell me you're a Christian and then say somebody who unalived, who's never bothered you, got her karma.
Yeah.
You're a sick person. All of you people on the right that I heard over the weekend, you are sick people. You wished me and my kids to be unalived over the weekend, even though I had not done anything to you. Well, I proved you wrong in my live, so you got upset and you threw your little tantrum. But stop calling yourself Christians and offending my friends that are followers of Christ, which is what they call themselves now. They don't even want to say Christians anymore because they don't want to lump themselves in with you liars, with you hypocrite, demon liars. They don't want to lump yourself. So they call, I know Takesha, and I'm not sure about Nutty, they say they're followers of Christ. They are sick. After what Pete Hegseth did and they're cheering it on, you're sick. I don't have anything for them anymore, Zeus. And I've got the screenshots of you, Paz, saying that. And then he wished karma on you and I, which I'm not really sure why they're doing that. But these are sick people we're dealing with. I don't know how much.
And you know what? It's so tempting for me to allow the devil to use me this morning, Ange, and do something and say something to him.
Oh, I know.
But I'm going to make sure that he continues to suffer by making sure every day I put this fire on his behind, on his backside. I want to have him hooting and hollering. All right.
Yeah, that's why I'm up here. I'm just putting him on blast. I'm putting him on blast. That's all.
And what you've done this morning, because I haven't seen him, he's crying right now. His wife left him. I got to say this. His wife left him alone years ago because of his nasty behavior. And he knows what I'm talking about. He's been running around with Snuggles on this app. And basically, you know, you make your bed, you got to lay in it. You reap what you sow. And so Paz is clearly someone that's spiraling out of control. I don't know what he's battling internally. All right. But it's something going on upstairs.
I'll try to feel bad for him, but I don't. I don't know if he lost his wife through.
Oh, now he wants to come up here because I'm speaking to the demon inside of him. This is how I do him. Yeah, Paz, don't say you're trying to come up. Don't say you're trying to come up and I send you an invite. Because a lot of these demons, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I've known of them for years on this app. So they understand who's in control once the conversation starts. Yeah, that's why they come in here. They go, oh my God, he hasn't sunk like we thought he would. He's actually getting stronger and stronger by the day. And they can't stand it. It bothers him. He knows it bothers him that Ange is doing a lot better in her life. Zeus, all of us are doing a lot better. Remember, they all claimed they had a mandate and they were winning because Kamala didn't win. But look at them. They're all miserable.
You've made a lot of us a lot better because I wouldn't have been so nice, but I'm trying to follow your lead. But that's the biggest problem with you that they have. I hear them say it constantly.
Just know, Ange, your success harms them. It makes them really, really suffer. They are in a place of, because think about where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be the ones crying while Trump's poll numbers are surging. But it's the exact opposite. Even on immigration, no one's buying it anymore.
No.
They have the oldest.
Gone down.
Huh?
That's even gone down amongst Republicans. I was just reading that, so I did my own research, went to several different sites. Yep. His poll numbers are at 37%.
And that's on the nice side. In a lot of real polls, they're at like 2. And it's Snuggles and Paz keeping them up. No, he said let you up. Listen. Okay, listen, Paz. Clearly you don't know how to use TikTok because, listen, I'm sending you an invite. And so, Paz, if you don't know how to use TikTok, that says everything we need to say.
He's never come up to my knowledge, has he?
No. He's denying my request, but then in the comments section saying let him up. You see the demon. This is a strong demonic force.
Well, it's because he's trying to look like a tough guy and like he's not running from it. So He's definitely not going to come out.
Y'all see the wickedness going on in this comment section. This is MAGA demon
It
behavior
is.
at another level, and he knows it. Yeah, Paz, go get your back.
And
in the
Marsha
camera.
won't come up either, just so you know. She comes into my life. She's a Haga. She's one of those people
She's probably
that
married to Paz now, or was married to Paz.
Maybe they'd be a great couple. Can we set them up in here right now? You'd be a wonderful couple. Take your nastiness somewhere else. Can we
I can put them in a Motel 666 W Zeus. I put them both in a Motel 666, and they know what's going on in there. Nothing good.
That's too nice for them. You're too kind. But no, they'll never come up. Marsha's in my lives too. Again, she's a Haga. She's never going to come up. She's just going to sit down there and lie and be a coward and embarrass women like me who voted. Well, you know, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but she did. 54% of you stupid white women voted for him, even though he said he was going to take your rights away, your daughters. You don't even care about your kids. So I don't know why I would expect you to care about anybody. But Paz, you're lucky you're in here. I'm only going to tell you, go get help. Don't say that that you're a Christian. When you say that a woman who has died suddenly of a heart attack, that she got her karma. Yeah. So you can take that somewhere else, Paz. Bring it over to my live, because I won't be nice.
Yeah, tell him, Ange. Tell him, Ange. W, Ange.
All right, have a good day.
All right, W, Ange, yeah. I know that what Ange said is going to, be on Paz's and Marsha's mind all morning, all day long. These folks, they can't run from the truth. All right, they want us to, in the Bible there was a part where, the demons ran across Jesus and they said, "Don't do it. Just send us into the pigs," because they know. And this is what's happening right now. Paz wants us to do something and just compromise all of our success for him and throw it away, but we're not going to do it, Paz. We understand. Every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. All right. You're afraid. You're afraid, Paz. And I know weakness when I see it. I can sniff it like a shark smells blood in the water. And when I see MAGA, I see weakness, ladies and gentlemen. All right. No, I don't want to do any. I can't battle. Hold on. Decline. All right. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, W's for Big Zeus. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter. I'll bring you right on up here. We don't got all morning to do this, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have all morning to do this. All right. Where are all the liars at? The ones that have been out here propping up their dear leader and trying to pretend like the reality we all are in right now isn't the reality. You can't do it. All right. Thank you, Piper. They have no answers for me. It's a spirit of delusion. DJ wants to come up. You know what? DJ never wants to come up. DJ is a unique person, in my opinion, because he talks a good game, but I honestly think the weight of Donald Trump's administration, it's truly brought him to his knees. I think genuinely he might actually, Zeus, you might be a good guy. That's how he feels, but he knows that he's dug himself in a nasty ditch, just like a lot of the other people who voted for Donald Trump. Yeah. Somebody said send DJ to hell. Hey DJ, look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. And this is why I say, y'all are putting y'all reputations on the line for one man. This is the problem with the whole question. Who's in charge of the Democrat Party? Because they want us to have a sort of one individual we worship. And I'll go ahead and say it. Even when we had Barack Hussein Obama, I always maintained enough of an understanding that it's a bridge too far to basically worship Obama. There's just never, I would never, even when Obama looked his best, I never got to the place of worship for the man. All right. Because I've always understood eventually we're going to get to a place in the relationship where we're going to disagree. And I got to be able to have a nice off ramp. Right. So you don't worship anyone. All right. You say, okay, for the most part, I could work with you. Maybe I got to do something to be a better person. Maybe you got to do something to be a better person. But we just don't bow down and give anyone 100% like MAGA has done with Donald Trump, because this is where you all have now gotten yourselves. Now you're in a space where we've dealt with this for 10 years, 10 long years. And now, and instead of, there were warning signs. There was 2 impeachments Oh, look at this. There were 2 impeachments. You didn't listen. Look at the devil summoned. Good morning, DJ.
Wow, look at the devil coming. That's
Well,
a great way to start a conversation.
Well, are you paying attention to what I'm saying? Because listen, let's just be honest. We're grown men. We don't got time to pretend like we really care about feelings and stuff like that. I haven't been lying or anything, right? But you understand the
No,
situation.
you have
that
been lying. You've been lying. That's, you're saying your chat is screaming that DJ won't come up. He's scared and this and that and the other. I've never been scared to come up here, ever. Not even once. But, I do not worship Donald Trump. I definitely do not worship any man. So you make the claim that we come up here and we want to, I criticize Trump just as much as anybody else, maybe not as much as you, because you truly live your life to nothing but criticize Donald Trump. And that's okay. That's good for you. But, what gets me is how people judge the person. You don't judge my politics. You don't judge my opinions. You're judging me as a person. And, it's just wrong. That's why I get so frustrated in here. Yeah, I mean, somebody's already chiming in, DJ is lying. I mean, there's no specifics in anything that y'all say. It's all generalities. Just a minute ago, Ange was talking about he took away women's rights. What rights did he take away? Are we talking about AB? Are we talking about, be specific in what you say. Don't make general, accusations across the board. Come on. If you guys want to actually have a platform that works, you need to be specific. And don't make it all against Trump. Come up with your own solutions. If did Joe Biden, so you're thinking Joe Biden did so much better than Trump? Well, you can absolutely get into a debate whether that's true or not. And I respect that. But what I don't respect is everything's got to be personal. DJ is a devil. DJ is a whatever, he's anti-women, he's racist, he's every. If you knew me as a person, you would know that none of that is true.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done? You landed the plane?
Oh, I'm done, and I appreciate you letting me talk. So go ahead.
I'm a fair person now, DJ. Unfortunately, that all sounds good, but the reason it's personal is.
Now I'm being sensitive. Somebody just said, "Don't be so sensitive."
No.
I'm sorry. Excuse me for interrupting. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The reason it's personal, DJ, is because there are actual consequences that are happening in America as a result of Donald Trump's administration, right?
And what period in history, Zeus, have we not had actual consequences to the president's and Congress's actions?
Well, there's always
period in time did this not exist before?
What we're dealing with has never existed before.
Oh, okay. So there were no consequences from the Biden administration. There were no consequences from the Bush administration.
So notice how you're on the defensive, right?
No, I'm just
contradicting. I'm doing a bit of a Jedi mind trick on you, because I showed you, that I could literally not agree with anything you say, but I also am able to control myself and not let the lies sort of get me to act up, right? But I haven't even started talking. All I've been is giving you a little bit of truth, and you're having an allergic reaction. You're lactose intolerant, right? So when I say this hasn't happened anymore, the way that it's happening, I'm getting very specific, right? So, for instance, one of the biggest issues that I got right now is the way Donald Trump is carrying out his policy when it comes to, quote, securing the border and mass deportations. I have a problem with it, because I know people, and I've also personally been impacted indirectly as a result of it, right? Okay. And it's counter to the way that I was brought up and raised, especially if we're talking about being a so-called Christian. I was taught you treat people, it doesn't matter who they are, with respect and dignity, right?
So you're making the claim that that's
what I'm saying. Is that how we should be treating one another in America? Because what you don't want is me to dive into you directly, right? Because then it makes you feel like I'm attacking you. So I'm trying to be general.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Aren't we supposed to be treating people with respect and dignity?
We should.
Okay,
absolutely.
Is that limited to a person's immigration status or their gender? The answer is no, DJ. The answer is no.
Well, Zeus, of course of course, if your opinion is
DJ.
All right, let me ask you this:
You're
is
having an
your
allergic
opinion that those people
reaction.
should not be deported?
You're DJ. You
Is
are
your
having an
opinion they
alert.
should
I
not
was
be
I was
deported?
being general, and I don't want to make it about you, DJ. But you keep
Okay.
making me make it about you.
No,
I'm
I just
asking
asked you a simple question. Do you think they should not be deported?
That's a little too far ahead of where I'm at right now. I'm not there yet, DJ.
Okay.
I'm talking
You're
about
saying
how
that
I'm,
these
I'm
things have
talking
never
about
happened in the past,
DJ.
but
I'm
didn't they
talking
happen
about
under Barack Obama? Didn't this same thing happen?
DJ. You're jumping ahead of the lecture, so to speak. All right, and I need you to come back to
Oh,
where
I'm
I'm
sorry, I
at.
don't have time to listen to your whole lecture, but go ahead.
I just asked you a simple question. Weren't we raised to treat one another with respect and
Absolutely.
dignity?
Yes,
Was
sir.
that limited to a person's immigration status or their gender?
If I'm meeting somebody one-on-one and I'm directly dealing with that person on a man-to-man or whatever, human-to-human basis, I don't care where you're from. If you and I are interacting, whether you're a U.S. citizen or not, then we should be willing to treat each other the same. Okay.
So then, yes,
But
we
it-
should treat each other with respect and dignity. It doesn't matter who
Absolutely.
you are,
Okay.
what your religion is, right?
Absolutely, I agree.
So now it's personal. Why would you support someone that doesn't follow that?
How is he not following that?
Okay, I'll give you an example. I've seen a lot of videos and I've heard from a lot of people, and I've witnessed it myself directly, that there are Americans who are being caught up in these so-called mass deportations. There's racial profiling going on. Innocent women and children are being, rammed into with cars, even zip tied and tied up. And then later on it plays out, oh, they had the wrong person, or they had the wrong, information about the individual, and then they get let go. We've seen what happened with the, quote, Maryland man, Albrego Garcia, so to speak, right? You're sending him to a concentration camp, and you're accusing him of being in a gang, and he's not been in a gang. So when does your humanity kick in, DJ?
Okay.
And recognize that this is counter to how you've been raised or how you profess to have been raised.
All right. Are you going to let me answer?
If you answer the question.
Okay. We are a nation of laws. Would you agree with that?
Okay.
Okay. Donald Trump absolutely ran, and I think you would have to agree that immigration was out of control in the previous administration. Donald Trump ran on the fact that we are literally going to deport as many of these folks as we can. Okay. Whether you want to call them criminals, whatever you want to call them, we're going to do our best to deport them. How many times have you seen ICE agents who are only doing their job been attacked, whether it's local government, state government, they're doing everything they can to prevent this from happening. You're saying that we're seeing things happen in this presidency that we've never seen happen before.
DJ, I don't
And you're
think
exactly right.
You're not answering my question. I just wanted to stop you because we're going in a direction I don't think actually speaks to your.
You don't want to hear it.
No, it doesn't speak to your. It doesn't speak to your personal convictions, which is what I was getting at. I mean, we could talk about the policy and, whether or not it's effective and did Donald Trump promise this and that, because I'm like, but that's not really what I'm getting at. I'm getting at you personally. How does this line up with your outwardly presentation of yourself as a person that treats everyone fairly? That's what I'm trying to get you to, see. And if you don't know that that's how I'm seeing it, then you can ask clarifying questions. But this is really, really about, why does DJ support somebody that clearly goes against what he's professing, your morals?
I think that if you talk to anyone that has met Donald Trump as a person on a one-on-one basis, look at what Bill Maher had to say about Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump has a job to do, and he got elected based on he's going to do that job. And he is trying to do every single thing that he said he was going to do. Do I agree with the way he's done everything? No, I don't. But
you met Donald Trump?
President in the history of this country
have you met Donald Trump?
Opposed the way that Donald Trump has.
Have you personally met Donald Trump?
Of course I haven't.
Well, why are we even bringing that up?
Because if you're talking about interacting as on a human level,
Yeah. So here,
interacting
I'll do
with
it for
somebody
you.
on a human level.
I'll do it for you, DJ. And I'm
No,
gonna
I
take
don't
the
need you to
lead
do it for me,
because
Zeus. I mean,
I
I
gotta be an
appreciate the
example.
effort.
I'll be
appreciate
an
the
example.
time.
I'll be an example of where I was looking for you to say. The reason that I still, and this is how you should answer this question, I was deceived, and I honestly believed that Donald Trump was going to do what he said he was going to do, which is go after the hardened criminals. But you know what? Once I realized he wasn't doing that, he was actually going after, Americans and women and children. I realized I made a terrible mistake, and you know what? I would like to apologize. And you see how I kept that all about me? In the case, I was referring to myself as I. I need you to recognize that it's your inability, right, to take that level of accountability. That's why you catch the hate and the hell you catch on this show from not just myself. I'm a nice about it, but that's why a lot of people don't like you. And that might be something you need to think about. All right.
No, I really don't. I mean, listen.
Okay, so your pride just kicked in. Your pride just kicked in, DJ.
Asshole in the world.
DJ.
And there are people out there that think I'm the nicest person they've ever met.
They've never met
and
you.
what I find is that the version of me that you get
DJ,
is the version of me that you deserve.
DJ, I'm going to be honest with you. Whoever you claim thinks you're a nice person, they've never met the true DJ. I believe who I'm talking to is the true DJ. All that stuff you're out there presenting and projecting.
Nice to you, Zeus?
You're not necessarily.
I'm not being respectful and treating you in a respectful way.
Okay, and here's the thing. Me and you, we can both pretend very well. I mean, because you think you're good at playing games. I'm actually the best. I'm the Rizzler. So I don't necessarily go off.
Good at playing your game, Zeus. How many times have you heard me say that? Many times.
Okay, so that's basically what I'm saying is game recognizes game, right? So, but that doesn't speak to the larger issue. I also look at how you carry yourself, right? And in moments like this, see, I have the ability to still demonstrate, like, I'm still true to who I believe, my beliefs. You don't, right? And this is when, we're putting you into the corner.
Give me an example of how I don't, Zeus. You like to make these claims. How am I being dishonest with you?
And now I got to say it. I asked you at the very beginning of the discussion, shouldn't we treat people with respect and dignity? You agreed.
We absolutely should.
It took you a second to, but you agreed to. Now, it's your inability to recognize that defending Donald Trump right now, who's going counter to that, makes you a hypocrite in my eyes. And until you come to grips with that truth, things are going to be as they are. We all see through it. Everyone
Zeus,
knows you talk a good game. We all know that, DJ.
Those who want respect, give respect. Okay? And you're saying that Donald Trump, if you're going to come into our country and you're not going to respect the laws that are here, then you're not going to get respect, Zeus.
Okay,
it's as simple as that.
And DJ, and again, I'll say this to you: you lost the moral high ground to talk about obeying laws when you voted for a criminal. Case closed.
That's
you get
a whole
that?
Nother discussion.
No.
Another discussion. If you're using that as
but I'm saying to you, DJ, I'm saying that to you based on just how I interact with people. I don't listen to people who went out and did something like that and then try to take the moral high ground. No. Isn't it interesting that you can hold these people who are less than, right? Because a lot of them don't come from wealthy families, right? These are people who, have limited resources at best. And then you have somebody like Donald Trump clearly breaking the law. Name one day he hasn't broke the law, right? Every day you turn on the TV, he's broken a law. And you have no energy for Donald Trump. And you want me to actually explain why you don't have any energy? Because I'll go into it and people could say, don't say you made it about race. I just did. Yeah, it's because he's a rich white guy, orange, all right? And he basically is the superhero you imagined yourself to be in the United States. So you love seeing him get away with it, but you just can't stand to see somebody, a person of color, doing something for their own survival, even if it means breaking the law. You just can't stand to see that. But meanwhile, it's okay for Donald Trump to break the law. It's okay for him to help himself to the U.S. Treasury for the tune of $230 million because he was investigated for his crimes. It's okay for Donald Trump to take money to destroy the East Wing of the White House, right? It's okay for him to do that. But you know what? This person better not get a couple of $100s for some SNAP benefits, because that'll just really send me over the edge. You see the hypocrisy, DJ? I can point out so many examples. And right now, Donald Trump just might have committed war crimes with Pete Hegseth. but you have no energy for that. But your mind, oh, I need that border secured. Give me a break. He's pardoning somebody that's been bringing rugs into the country. Every position you want to take, DJ, we can prove to you that you really don't care. It makes you a hypocrite and it makes you a liar, sir. All right, and
you can't prove that I don't care about anything, Zeus.
Well, I just
you
did.
Can't because your opinion
DJ.
is different than mine.
No,
that makes me the devil because I feel like ICE is unfairly treated. I feel like these guys are out here doing a job.
You feel ISIS? You feel ISIS? You feel ISIS? You feel ISIS unfairly treated right now?
Oh my goodness gracious, yes.
That says everything, DJ.
Well, then
that says everything. And you know what?
Then let it be said. If you're not going to allow these guys to do their job, then let it be said.
So just say it with your chest, DJ. Just say it with your chest. You enjoy watching men running around slamming women and children on the ground. You get off on that, right?
No.
That's a lie right there. That's a lie, DJ.
No, it's not a lie, Zeus.
Okay,
just
well,
because you say it's a lie doesn't mean it's a lie. And 9 times out of 10, these examples that you're giving of women and children are just flat out fabrications.
Okay. Well,
the
listen,
zip tie.
DJ.
What about the child that was zip tied, Zeus?
Yeah.
Huh. And give me another example.
I got a lot of examples, but here's the thing, DJ. There's no truth in you. The darkness comprehends.
There's no truth in me.
The darkness comprehends not the light. And so what we got to do is I got to move it on, DJ.
Yeah, you do. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, because you're
losing this argument, Zeus.
No, I don't think I've lost. I just realized that you're not paying enough. You're not paying enough for this consolation service that I'm offering you, and it's clear you only want to do one thing, which is sniff Donald Trump's dirty, disgusting diaper. All right, and I can't stop somebody when you're in love like DJ is with Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. When you're in love with Donald Trump like DJ is, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one destination for you to go. Zeus, why did you do it to me, Zeus? No explanation needed. You know what you are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send DJ's disgusting behind where he belongs, straight to hell.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well.
Man, that's a huge W, Zeus. That's a huge W, Zeus. That was so easy to do, bro. You were done before you even got in the box, but you actually came up here and said everything that I needed you to say to prove what I've been saying the whole time. A lot of us have been saying the whole time. There's not an ounce of truth in you, and no one's buying this narrative that you genuinely care about people. No, you don't. You only care about making sure Donald Trump gets away with anything he can. Hey, DJ, why don't you send Donald Trump everything you got? All right, and follow him. Because that's your God. That's your God, DJ. Yes, good morning, Brother Val. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
How's it going?
I'm doing good.
Other than listening to DJ,
you did the right thing.
Circle, you did
the right thing.
did talk to complete circle. I mean,
Yeah, but he thinks he's the victim in all of this, Val, which is sad, right? Isn't it sad? Typical MAGA male behavior.
Look, I mean, for somebody to come up here and say that ICE is doing the right thing and you think that they're being overwhelmed, no, sir. ICE is bound by a set of laws that are put in place by our Constitution. And what they're doing right now is absolutely not paying any attention to what this country was founded on ever. Okay? So don't come up here and tell me about a set of laws. You're up here, and you're talking, and you said criminals, right? I thought it was, it was criminals. Criminals was Donald Trump's word, sir.
Yep.
I'm going to get rid of the criminals. Wasn't our word.
Yeah.
That was Donald Trump's word.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody from, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, they're normally not criminals. Okay?
You hear that, DJ?
Okay, that's, what I'm saying. Let's take that into effect. Harassing American citizens and then putting them in incarceration until they figure out if they're actually an American citizen is against everything our Constitution stands for.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of story.
Yeah. DJ, put your comment in the section for Val to answer it so that Val can get through what he needs to because, we understand right now you're struggling.
I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? Listening to these things go on and on and on. And so, and then y'all keep using this argument to avoid what's really happening in this country today. You know, the fact that grocery prices are not low. The fact that gas prices really haven't got down to any kind of lower level. The fact that, you know what I'm saying? The fact that housing is still extremely high. The fact that insurances are going up. The fact that medical insurance is going up. Okay? The fact that we don't have numbers for employment or job creation. They won't release them. Okay, these facts should scare everybody in this country.
Yep.
These are the things that are going on in this country today, and I know why he doesn't want to release them, because it's going to readjust October. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get September's numbers, and it's going to readjust that.
Yeah.
And these are the things, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that are going to go on, and they're going to show us massive losses, DJ. We know this. And this is why people like you that come up here that want to avoid what's really happening in this country, not understanding that 3 weeks ago, the reason the Democratic swept all the elections, and don't say it was just in Democratic states, sir. Mississippi lost a supermajority. Two statewide elections in Georgia went to Democrats. Okay.
Yeah.
In Texas, a state seat is most likely going to go to a Democrat after the runoff. Okay. That hasn't been won by a Democrat in 30 years. You know, these are the things that we're talking about, DJ. You're not paying any attention. People are done with this. You know, y'all can keep going to immigration all you want to, but immigration, sir, I've got news for you. The Republicans' immigration policy has been a failure. Okay. And the reason is because not only is it trapped up American citizens in it, sir, and the things that we talk about into horrendous crimes that are being committed by ICE.
Facts.
It is hurting our economy as well.
Oh, but Val, Black Friday record sales, Cyber Monday record sales. They don't understand things cost more. The numbers obviously are going to look like that.
Yeah, record profits, you mean?
Yeah, that's what they're hanging their hat on.
Yeah, record profits. And sir, do we have any actual math on that? Do we have any designation math from that came from any kind of service? We don't even have jobs numbers right now. Please, I'd like to see those real numbers.
And the credit card debt, how much has that gone up?
Oh, that's gonna fly through the roof, right?
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that people are going to have a harder time getting credit now, DJ. You know, because their medical bills now show on their credit reports again.
Yeah.
I mean, these are ridiculous times that we are going through, DJ, and you know what I'm saying. And these are things.
Yeah.
And I spent time in two MAGA lives this weekend. You know what I'm saying, and we all know how that went.
Yeah, you were there with me. I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there Saturday, and I was there with I was there on Admir's Live yesterday. You know what I'm saying, with that same group of people, and you know, there's things that need to be said about this stuff, and there's things I'm going to call Democrats on about this too.
Go ahead.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing, people. As Democrats, I want to make sure we understand one thing: when we go up into lives like that and we act just like they do, it is not a good look, and I'm going to explain why. Because just getting in arguments, watching people argue back and forth with each other, I mean, if somebody likes that drama, great. But here's the problem. I sat and watched a live for an hour and then went in a live and called it out. Because for an hour, not a single policy or what's actually happening in this country was talked about. It was two people hurling insults back and forth to each other, trying to see who could one-up each other in insults. I want to let everybody know, Democrat and Republican, who you're actually helping. If you're a Democrat and you think you're helping the Democratic Party by doing that, you're wrong. What you're actually doing is you're growing the both sides argument every time you do that.
You think so? I mean, and you know, Val, what I respect is, you know, you call it out, you call what you see, how you see it. You know, and I'll just say, to me personally, sometimes I might be a little weak in that area. Some of this stuff you just got to get in there, you know. But I hear what you're saying, because from the outside looking in, you go, "Oh my God, what is this serious? What are we doing?" But you know, it is what it is. You know,
I don't mind if you want to do it, but don't be mad when somebody calls you out on it.
Fair enough, W.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And if you can't take the heat, then stay out of the kitchen. That's what I say. Like, if you go and do that, don't bring it over to me. Like, you did what you did. That's on you. I don't got time because I got my own battles. But if it goes down, though, Val, it goes down too. It goes both ways because what we're dealing with, and people say this. Michelle Obama says, "When they go low, we go high." I've met a lot of people on the on the left, independent. They say, "Oh, I'm ready to get dirty with these demons."
Oh, getting dirty is great. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have an issue with that. But when getting dirty, I can get dirty with somebody and insult them without having to raise my voice or yell or scream. You know what I'm saying? I get dirty with them intellectually.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're still trying to figure out they got insulted, that's perfect.
Yeah. And I like that approach. Yeah. I like your approach better, Val, honestly, because I think that's how it has to be. But I do appreciate that we got.
But you have somebody like Jammin' Lou that's sitting in a live going, I talk about policies, and I just listen to you yell at somebody, and I didn't hear a single policy.
Lying Lou.
I
call him Lying Lou.
Right. And in the same live, I watched a black man come up to the panel and respectfully ask Jammin' Lou to quit using the N-word. Actually respectfully ask, hey, look, dude, I would appreciate it if you don't use the N-word no more, and then watch Jammin' Lou called him the N-word about another 20, 30 times.
Oh. See, now that's going to get a lot of people. That's going to, unfortunately, Val, once that happens, the gloves are off. And, I don't tell people what to do, but I understand why a lot of people choose the path they go. And because I try to tell these people, you got to remember, you represent somebody wherever you're from. So if you don't want to, don't be so nasty. But when people say stuff like that, you just go, obviously you don't value having a good reputation, so to speak. That's disgusting.
Right. I mean, just the stupid stuff that goes on over there. But I mean, I don't know how anybody could actually listen to it, to be honest with you, because you're not getting any information.
Yeah, it's just pure ignorance. It's really pure ignorance. All right, but that's all MAGA has, Val.
Right. And how bad is it? How bad has it gotten? When Stacey and Janae are going, this is too much.
Oh, really? Wow. This is wow. I didn't know all of this happened. I was out being about my father's business. But obviously, this is what MAGA brings. This is what they do. That's why I can't get down with them. I mean, at the end of the day, I go and do what I do. But I understand these are some sick individuals. And like you said, they don't got anything to help everyday Americans other than hatred. All right, brother.
That's it, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, W Val. Yeah, I'm more into trying to get real, measurable. Thank you, brother Val. I'm trying to get real results out here. I mean, honestly, but every now and then I got time to, sometimes I got time. I look at my watch, I got time. But other than that, I'm like, to each their own. W Val. Let me bring up my sister Straight Facts, who always brings the heat. Good morning, and the Straight Facts too. Good morning, Straight Facts. Welcome.
How y'all doing this morning, Kingdom?
Oh, we doing great. We're doing great. How about you? I saw you in there with me, and you were holding it down quite a bit.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing from yesterday over at Admir's, but I want to address Val real quick. Val, I really respect you as a person, and I know you're trying to do the best for this platform, and I understand where you're coming from. But before you try to tone police grown folks, I need for you to know the whole thing that went down. First of all, I was being as nice as I possibly could. Janae kept calling me out of my name. As a matter of fact, the Colombiana, whatever that girl name is, she called me stupid and something else a few times before you even got in the room. Me and Rowdy were up there going back and forth with them for about 2-3 hours before you even came up. And I showed as much decorum as I possibly could. By the time you came in the room, everybody had it with Janae and Stacy and Jammin' Lou's BS. You know how it is, Zeus. You're in there for a little while and then you're trying to give them facts, and I'm trying to tell them that you're arguing against something that we're not even saying. We never said we wanted illegal aliens to be in the country. We never said that we're not here to protect kids. We're the ones who voted for the non-Chester, non-accused being to be a Chester. So you know we were talking trying to protect the kids. So again, Val, I get where you're coming from. But you weren't reading the room, nor if you had only been in there for an hour, you should have came up there trying to tone police anyone. We're all adults, Val. I understand that you take this fatherly figure and role with everyone, and I get it. But we cannot continue being nice to MAGA and taking the high road. When they go low, I'm going underneath the Durgon floor at this point. Because what you're not going to do is continue calling Michelle Obama a man and think I'm going to sit there and it's okay. What you're not going to do is call me a white liberal, melanated liberal, and I'm not going to say something back to you. Those are derogatory terms. You essentially called me a white lady, and I'm parakeeting what white women say. That's disrespectful at its highest. So Val, when they disrespect me, I'm disrespecting them. You can guarantee it. And you ain't nobody's daddy. Be your children daddy. Not these grown folks on this app's daddy. Number one. Number two, before I get out of here. The Federal Appeals Court rules Alana Habba, Trump's former personal lawyer, is unlawfully serving as a U.S. attorney for New Jersey.
Criminals.
Yeah.
Wow, what a disgrace. W straight facts.
Let me say this before I go, Zeus. I said to them on several occasions, I don't care if it's my dead father that's on the list. Dig him up and put him in jail. I don't understand why the right wing can't say that. And none of them ever got that out their mouth. They cannot bring themselves to say, if Trump is in the files or he's done anything that he's been accused of, I'm no longer supporting him. And that is the problem. If you don't believe me, you can go back on my page 3 years ago and show where I posted stuff about saving children. So this is what I do. Again, we voted for the non-accused Chester. And y'all voted for the Chester. I don't know what y'all got to say.
Hey, hit him with it. W's in the chat. Straight facts.
Thank y'all so much for the gifts. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we're doing over here. All right, now listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the moment in the show, and a lot has been said. I mean, this has been one of the greatest shows. And, you know, whether it, and again, what I understand what Val is saying, and guess what? I also understand what Straight Facts is saying, but I've basically came to the point on TikTok, and this is just my personal input. I've only know how to take responsibility for myself, and I tell everybody just keep in mind, ultimately no matter how I feel about you, you're gonna have to speak for yourself and your own actions. And so, hey, if you like it, I love it. I do. You do use Zeus. What are you talking about, Edward? What are you saying? No. I understand. Okay, listen. In the Democrat Party, there's a lot of different styles of so-called kung fu, martial arts, whatever you want to call it. All right, Val has his style, and it's very effective. Straight Facts has her style. I have my style, and in my opinion, all of them are needed to continue to put the pressure on MAGA and eradicate them out of this great country of ours. All right, I mean, you got to measure the risk for yourself and then do what you got to do. All right, and so that's what I'll say. But if you want me to facilitate, I don't mind doing it. I can make myself available and facilitate conversations about how to improve those strategies. All right, but I really do believe right now what MAGA use, it's like warfare in a way, right? They're using cannons and all these other things and stuff, and it's like you just can't go in there with a butter. You know what? You can't go in there with just hand to hand. No, you got to actually be able to meet the moment sometimes and where these folks are at and help them understand this won't be a soft target. And then you also have to understand, and this is the point Val, and I believe Val was making, which is the optics of this, right? Because that's also an angle, and some people are very good at the optics. Some people are very good at, citing and providing data and information and policy. Whatever you're great at, I just tell you, become a master of it, all right? But then understand there's a team dynamic out here, all right? And that's honestly why the Democrats, I like the Democrat Party. I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect, but I like the fact that, we don't mind saying, hey, you know what? I don't really like how you went at me that way, or hey, you should do better at this. We don't mind having those conversations because iron sharpens iron, and we're not in a cult. We're not in a cult over here. And I love all of my good mutuals. Trust me, I do. No one loves them more than I do. But one thing we're all united on is this. MAGA is the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth, all right? And there's no good in MAGA. There's not one good thing coming out of the MAGA cult. And so whatever you do, I'm going to be honest with you, whatever you're doing to resist the MAGA demon, keep up the great work. Because the last thing I want to do is see somebody else sucked into that disgusting, vile cult and doing just unimaginable harm to this country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you all deserve a huge round of applause. Thank you to all of the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists, honestly, because without you and your support, this show wouldn't be where it's at, all right? Even though they've reported me all morning long because I'm hurting their feelings, you all still show up, all right? But on that note, I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and you know exactly who this goes out to. And you can list them. All the Zeus haters. DJ got in the box this morning. And I tell you, DJ caught hell this morning. And he has to go back to whatever cave he crawled out of and know that nobody on TikTok buys the narrative that he's a nice person. Because we all understand he's just acting. Yeah, we all see who DJ really is. And DJ knows. But I'm working on him. Y'all pray for me. But that all goes down to Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, who lied and said, oh, I've never seen Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump dancing, even though there's several million videos of it out there on the internet. You liar. And then loser MAGA Queen, that's Tiny Tank Top Tim's mascot. And she keeps saying I'm jealous of her because she has a husband. You don't have a husband. You have a hostage situation, all right? All right, at best. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these MAGA demons. Oh, grab Snuggles and the Russian bears, too. Join me in sending them where they belong, straight to hell. It doesn't matter.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your morning. We're out of here. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Gotta wake the chain up. Get injected with some power. Pull some strings. Level up like a king. Came from the trenches, now we ballin' at the top. Rizzler in the gym, presidential, watch the ops. Drip too saucy, got the fit.
I like that.
Real different. 1600 on the throne,
Out here looking brilliant.
no skeety.
Hey, W Kabira.
Foreign tax, make these clowns pay for all the shade. Bustin' moves, no meaning.
1600 Pennsylvania on the way, ladies and gentlemen.
You the doubt, Alexi hitting his spoke. From the Bay to DC, I keep them on their toes. Level up with the blueprint, watch the empire grow. Goes with all the fakes, now my circle A1. Moving 100 in, this race is already won. Bet I'm dripping, got the power, vision crystal clear. Stick with ambition, yeah, making history right here.
Thank you, Cindy. Adele.
They cannot touch the throne. Posted in the Oval Office, trapping in the zone. Past the hate, got my foot on the gas. Bulletproof, yeah, my aura is built to last. Slap with the plan, moving chestnut checkers. Presidential flex, got my aim on the necklace. Level up, we taking over that spot. Drip too clean, get it poppin', we ain't gon' never stop. No cap, we live, yeah, flow on 1,000, 100, 1605, presidential, we found it. Posted in the Capitol, moving like I own the block. Riz game presidential, got the nation in a lock. Got the annex, yeah, 100, no facade. Drip celestial, shining brighter than a star. Better calling shots, got the vision HD clear. Slap with the news, turn the dreams into chandeliers. Pops stay lurking, but they folding under all the pressure. 1600, I'm the one flexing, I'm the new successor. Got the legacy breaks, every bar's a new crown. Trap soul in the White House, DC is the town. Woke up in the mansion, views from the East Wing prime. Presidential, residential, got the poles in a climb. I'm the
Oh, thank you.
got the but my code is unbreakable. Skibidi through the storm, legacy gon' shake the boat. The city in my grip, getting real cold, make the whole world flip. Busting off the trunks, got the game in a trance. Drip too wavy, yeah, make you wanna dance. Packer 59, nice. Have a great rest of your morning, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.